Hi! Welcome back to Pick Up His Call. Our question of the day is, since this is like a trend on Instagram, what did you look like back in 2016? So we're going to expose ourselves here. We're going to start with Reese. And we're going to pop it up so you can see it.
Yeah. This is embarrassing only because I shouldn't have had this hobby at this age. Like, it should have gone away by then. Well, me and my American Girl dolls took on the world. So I got a new one for Christmas.
Aww, I like it.
Look at her buck teeth.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
It's cute.
She has a middle part. Like, she was in on it.
Yeah,
but,
she was in.
But I'm
That's
kind
darling.
of like, I was like too old to be liking them still.
What are you talking
think
about?
so.
I like them.
still I disagree.
Like mine.
Mm-hmm. Well, my mom was like, "Are we sure about this?" And I was like, "Yes, buy me another one."
All right.
Adalee?
Okay.
She has like 200 to choose from.
A lot.
Let's see this picture.
Okay, so that's just me. At the
You look so similar.
yeah, I haven't grown up or grown tall.
She's so
Wow,
That's
you
me
not.
with my Percy Jackson Valentine's box.
Oh, cute.
You look like a completely different person.
Yeah,
Really?
You look like
Yeah.
your brothers.
Yeah, that makes
And I don't
sense.
I feel like you look different from your brothers now than you did
Really?
when you were a kid.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Okay, this one's mine. Oh, this is me
Ooh.
camping. Oh my gosh, I remember this camp spot.
Did you make it?
Did you make it?
That's
No,
cool.
we found
The
it.
glasses.
Yep,
That's
but the
so cute.
glasses.
Look at the haircut.
Yep.
The
You
hair
can see
and
the
the
side
side.
bangs coming in, and then just like
Yeah.
the freaking pineapple.
That hair reminds me of Napoleon Dynamite's girlfriend.
Oh, just a little bit.
no.
In a good way.
But you look like a wilderness girl. I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You're an adventurer, girl.
yeah,
Did
this
you
was
watch
in
what's
Glacier.
Glacier National Park?
So.
Oh, cute.
Like our camp spot. Dora the Explorer, is that who you're getting at?
no,
no,
the
that's
Wild
definitely me.
Kratts.
Oh my gosh, Wildcats were literally, that was my
I
favorite
love
show
Wild
growing up.
Kratts.
That makes sense.
Okay, mine is
I'm excited.
Halloween costume, okay? But I did occasionally dress up in it.
Get rid of our old ways.
Okay,
Naybi, you don't look like yourself.
I know, it's so weird. I think I've grown out my...
baby
That's
Naybi.
so funny though.
It's kind of funny.
What's the background?
It's just on a shed or something.
Oh my god.
Power pose.
Go Power Rangers. Were you not cold on Halloween wearing that?
No, I was running around, I guess.
Why do
She
you
wears
remind me of
short sleeves
Ike?
and-
The way that your faces, you're like,
Yeah. It's
it
cute.
reminds me of Ike in the best way. Oh, you're so cute.
Yeah.
Like, we're not at an age where it's embarrassing in 2016. I can't
Yeah.
wait, like, 2028 is going to be my year to expose myself in
Yes.
2018.
Yeah. There we
Yeah.
go.
But
It'll be rough.
until then.
Until then, we'll wait.
We are here.
Well, we could just do every year leading up to, if we want.
Leading up to 2018.
Yeah,
No, wait,
to our
2028.
Yeah.
Maybe that might be it.
Okay, we're gonna move on. So today we are talking about the 12 apostles and their lives after Jesus Christ's resurrection, and cool stuff like that. So here's what I know. So we're gonna talk. First and foremost, we have to realize that the 12 apostles were just ordinary men, and they were just men that you would walk by and pass in the street, and you wouldn't even like take a second glance at them because they just looked like everyone else. But Jesus did. Jesus saw them. He just stopped, and he asked them to follow him, which is like kind of like, what? We're just these random men. Why are we gonna follow you? So they did, and I think they followed him because obviously Jesus saw them and saw them in a way that no one else saw them. And so they followed him throughout his whole ministry and up to the very day he died. And what I believe is that the apostles they had questions and they doubted Jesus, and like they kind of were like, why are we actually here? Why do you actually need us? Until Jesus Christ rose from the dead again. And that's when everything clicked. That's when everything started to be like, oh, you are our Savior. You did just save the world, and we have like a way to come back to God now. Thank you. And so, obviously, when Jesus came back, the apostles probably had millions of questions they wanted to ask, but Jesus had one question, and it was to Peter. But I have a feeling it was for all the apostles, and it was for us today still too. And he asks, "Do you love me?" And it's just like this simplest question, and I love it so much. And of course, Peter, being the guy he is, he's like, "Is this even a question? Of course I love you. Like, what?" But my favorite thing is what Jesus responded with, and it's, "Feed my sheep." And that is what started their ministry throughout the world. That is what drew them to stay true in their faith, even though people were mad with them, people were trying to kill them. People eventually did kill them, which is like why we are talking about them today, because how could these apostles die for something that wasn't true, something that wasn't something that was a lie? So I've asked each and every one of these girls a question, and they will help us understand the apostles a little better today.
Yes. Adalee, do you want to go
Yeah,
first?
can I go first? Okay. So my question was, why did they give up their lives for the gospel and for Jesus Christ, and why would we do that? And my first thought was just like, why do we do what we do? And I think if we narrowed it down to the reason why, it's because we love the Lord. And it's like, why do we love the Lord? And I think it's because he loves us. And so I just want to bring attention to some examples where God showed his disciples that he knew them. So this is in John chapter 1, verse 42. And Jesus sees Peter, and Jesus says, "Thou art Simon, son of Jonas, thou shalt be called Cephas," which is in interpretation a stone. So basically he just said, "Oh, you're Peter, and this is who your father is, and I'm going to give you a nickname," and it's he's like, "I already know you, and I want to make a connection with you and stuff."
And I know your potential.
Yes.
As in you're a foundation to this church.
The quote that stood out to Reese the other day, it was, don't see people for who they are, see people for who they will become. Who they can
It's a
become.
Tom Swanson quote.
Yes.
I've been hearing a lot about him lately. It's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Sorry, anyways.
But I think that goes along exactly with what you're saying, because I think in all of Christ's miracles, he knew people while he was healing them. It wasn't just Jarius, you're a random
this random
priest.
person, let me heal you, I can do
And I'll just walk
it.
away,
Yeah.
nothing happened.
And so that individualism was so clearly expressed for the apostles.
Yes, and then I'll just share one more that I saw in the same chapter, just a couple verses down. Because Nathaniel was an apostle, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is Jesus meeting Nathaniel. And so it says, Jesus saw Nathanael coming to him and saith of him, "Behold, an Israelite indeed, in whom there is no guile." So he's like in our words, that would be that there is Naybi, she is a good Christ-like person or whatever. And Nathaniel's like, "Whence knowest thou me? Have we met before? Do you know me?" And Jesus answered him and said unto him, "Before that Philip called thee, when thou wast under the fig tree, I saw thee." And Nathanael answered and saith unto him, "Rabbi, thou art the Son of God." So he went from, "Have we met?" to, "You're the Son of God, and you're Jesus Christ." So that means that he had an experience that he knew that only him and God would know about. And so I think that, along with experiences that we have where we know that God has seen us individually and personally and shown that he loves us and wants to make a connection with us, at least for me, that's why I want to follow Christ and why I would give up my life for the gospel if it came to it. It's just because he's all about the individual and he cares so deeply about us. So I'm okay, I will love you too, and I will follow you too. And I think that's what the apostles felt too.
Yeah. I'd like to kind of invite you as a listener, if you don't feel like you've had that experience where Christ has been able to show himself and his individual love for you, I encourage you to pray for it and to kind of just study and deeply ponder how you can best allow Christ to be able to do that, because the teachings in the scriptures are true and they will happen to this day if you just pray and ask for it.
And it might take some time, right? Because God speaks to us all in different ways. But if you really want it, you can have it. If you really want God to be in your life, then you can with effort. Yeah.
Exactly.
Cool. Snap to that.
Reese, do you want to go next?
Yes. Mine's like almost like how you invite Christ into your life. So that's a really good
Perfect.
snap.
Yes.
I'm gonna read this book, The Ruthless Elimination of Hurry, and kind of paraphrase. This guy, he lives next to a bunch of runners, and he watches them every day sipping his coffee as they go out in their like cute spandex shorts, go running multiple miles a day every morning. And he was like, wouldn't it be so nice to just like have that kind of routine and have that kind of schedule? And he was like, I want that life, but I don't want the lifestyle behind it. And because he's sitting at home late at night reading his books and eating whatever food he wants. And those people are eating, what he says, their celery and water and going to bed at 9 p.m. And so he was talking about how like that kind of relates to how Christ's lifestyle is, where we like it and we like how it can, like, we can almost adapt it into our lives, and we love how so much like he's so great and that he has devoted all of his life to other people, but I don't want to do that to myself. And then if we look at it in that aspect, like, we're unable to grow. So if you want to experience life with Jesus, you have to adopt the lifestyle of Jesus. I feel like you can see that super heavily in Matthew 4:18-19. That's when he invites Simon Peter and Andrew to become fishers of men rather than fishers of fish. And I thought that was so cool because they straight away left their nets and decided to leave. And he did that same thing with James and John. And James and John left their dad's boat and went to go after Christ. And I think that we were able to see like so heavily how much their lives were influenced by Christ, because it doesn't end. I feel like they almost thought that it ended when Christ died. And almost in that same aspect, like if Christ dies in our lives and our spirituality, like sometimes it can feel like we don't need to keep up that lifestyle if we're not receiving the same answers to prayers, if we're not keeping up like our mindset. But that's not true at all. John 21 is kind of the revival of the 12 apostles after Christ died. And so this one is super cool because it's talking, hey, Simon, lovest thou me, lovest thou me, lovest thou me. Feed my sheep, feed my sheep, feed my sheep. And I think the repetition in scripture is super important because it means like, hey, pay attention to this. And as missionaries, we are choosing that maybe not all of the rules that we're following are entirely ideal, and they're going to make us out of our comfort zone. But it is going to be a life based off of my experience of the people I've spoken to. Obviously, I do not know. But it is a life that that's going to be altered for the best. In this book, it says my favorite quote right here, that you get back far more than you give up. Death is always followed by resurrection. And I think that's so perfect that we have to follow, like, if you think about the rules, then that's what's going to make it so hard on your mission. But if you focus on like the excitement and all the prayers that are being answered, and you're focusing on the fact that God is just in the hand of your life and that you're following like his structure of like a good life would look like, you're going to find success and you're going to find love and you're going to find a testament of Christ. It just has to be your willingness to sacrifice your old life, die, and be resurrected.
Yes. You have to give up something. You have to sacrifice something in your life to be reborn again with Christ.
It's always better.
It's always better, and you'll be living your best life. I don't know. It's like what you've already said. So.
And it's just like you don't have to do that, right? And you can still have a good life, and like, you know, you don't have to follow, because even while not on your mission, you know, you don't have to follow all the commandments, and like you can still live a good life. But like if you want more and if you want a deeper relationship with Christ, then you gotta like, you know, step it up.
But there's something about this Jesus man who literally hungers my soul. I don't know. And I'm sure he all these apostles, everyone who's ever met Jesus knows this, is that once you know him, you have to share him.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Ooh, that's cool.
All right. My question that Naybi had me read was, what will you be remembered by? Which that kind of like stood out to me. And I was reflecting on the apostles because I didn't know that the apostles died the ways that they did. I didn't know that Judas hung himself.
Yeah.
I didn't know, was it Peter that got
Crucified upside down.
Yeah. Like, I didn't know these things. But I knew that they were followers of Christ. I knew that Peter had the faith to walk on water. I knew that Judas was the one who was so invested in the worldly worries that he betrayed Jesus. I knew all of these things about their actions, about who they were, because they devoted their life to what they believed in. They didn't just make their lives about Jesus. Like, they did, but it wasn't like a subtle thing. No. They were about Jesus. Their lives were Jesus. It wasn't just oh yeah, like when the opportunity comes up, like, sure, I'll talk about Jesus. It was always him. One thing that made me think, like, I was thinking about this podcast and especially my question, and I kind of was reminded of, I don't know his name, but he spoke this last general conference about testimonies, and everyone was like,
Peter M. Johnson.
Yeah. And everyone was like, oh my gosh, his talk. And I think the biggest thing that stood out to in his talk was that you need to share your testimony. You need to make sure that people know that you are a disciple of Christ. And it can't just be in a moment of when anti-Mormon stuff pops up and you're like, I actually don't believe this. You have to say it. Like, you have to show that you are a disciple 24/7.
And, there's this quote that talks about how, like, being a disciple of Christ means that sometimes you have to say it, but most of the time it's through your actions. I don't know the exact quote, but actions are everything.
Go and
being
do.
a disciple of Christ. Yeah.
And it's, like, don't get us wrong, like, God is not asking us to die for this gospel, to die for this church, but he is asking us to dedicate, he's asking us to dedicate our lives to him and to be that example, because you might not think it, but people are watching you, and people are kind of, I don't want to say expecting you to act a certain way, but they are searching for that light, and they can find that through you. And I think we might end here, so I will say a little quote. It's from Thomas S. Monson, and the talk is called Dare to Stand Alone. And I'm going to change a few words because I don't like how they're very specific, because I feel like this applies to all faiths. But dare to believe, dare to stand alone, dare to have a purpose firm, dare to make it known. I like that one a lot, because that's what we should be doing. We are disciples of Christ. We are the examples of Christ, and we need to share his love here on this earth because it needs it more than ever.
Ordinary people can be changed through Christ.
Yes.
So go and do.
There we go. Okay.
Bye,
Bye, guys.
I love you.